I think mental health, it's a daily job. Like, it's a daily thing you have to be aware of and you have to work on.
One thing that I try to do is I always try to keep myself grounded. Yo.
Hello.
What's
what up,
up, yo?
coworkers?
What's up, coworkers?
Yeah. Welcome back to another episode of the We Outside Afterwork podcast. I am Dana.
And I'm Aaron. How y'all doing today? How y'all doing out there, coworkers? We love y'all.
We do love you guys, and it is a solo episode today.
I was going to say it is Cinco de Mayo.
I didn't get to that.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Continue.
But it is a solo episode with just me and Aaron today. We've had a bunch of guests back to back. I think it was 4.
I don't know. All bunch of great people.
Great people.
Great insight to not only their lives, but into different perspectives. So shout out to every last one of y'all.
Yeah, but we just wanted it to just be us so y'all can, know what we got going on. But today is Cinco de Mayo. Yeah.
There we go.
You know what it stands for?
Yeah, it's 5th of May.
No, but like what it means.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what it means, but like the purpose of it.
Yes, I actually do. I did my research.
What is it?
It was like a war that they fought, like the Puebla or something like that, and they won, so they celebrate that.
With the French?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's
You're
not
smart.
in Mexican Independence Day for the people who don't know.
Right. We
Mexicans
smart on this show.
Been independent because,
Because what?
I don't know. I'm being nice to the Mexicans because last week I said something.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah.
Anyway, we are going to get into our little catch up and see what we've been up to.
We got to let the people know what time we be coming on because
yes.
we want to make sure y'all tuning in, y'all subscribing, y'all liking, y'all sharing, y'all commenting.
Yeah.
Right?
So, guys, our drop day is Wednesday, but we don't drop the visuals and audio at the exact same time. So we drop the audio at 3 a.m. Eastern time on Wednesday, and then the visuals drop at 8 p.m. Eastern on YouTube.
Yeah.
And that way we can get both of the numbers up at the same time, and it's been working. So just so you guys know.
And if you on Pacific Standard Time or Liechtenstein Standard Time,
what the fuck is Liechtenstein?
It's a country.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you on those times, you need to get on the Eastern Standard Time because that's when we drop.
That's where we're at. We're on the East Coast, so that's our times.
But yeah, as Danny was saying, we check in when it's just the two of us, just to see how each other is doing. So go ahead and check in with us. My
check-in is the live show that we did last weekend, which was a live audience, and it was super dope.
Yes, it was.
We were the last podcast to go, and I was asking everybody for advice because I was so fucking nervous. Like, I've never performed in front of a crowd before,
and I ain't never seen Dana not that she wasn't confident, but Dana just is so stoic, right? She
I'm
on her
stoic.
shit. Yeah, you be on your shit.
Yeah.
So it's like when Dana wasn't like,
I have a great poker face.
1,000%. I was like, all right, here we go. I got you.
So I had to lean on you more, which you did bring that energy and like the crowd.
Like Morgan Freeman, you can lean on me.
Yeah, that's my favorite movie.
Is it? Your
you know what's
movie?
funny? At a point in time. So my dad went to that high school because I was recorded in Patterson. So my dad went to that high school and it was recorded or filmed the year after he was there. So that's so crazy. But yeah, so for the live show, I ended up buying these crystals. So like these crystal bracelets. Shout out to her name was Lorrie, I believe. I don't remember her Instagram name for her crystals, but I'll link it below. And she gave me these crystals that were good for confidence and just like anxiety, and I wore them, so I feel like that helped. Like, I'm into crystals, like energy and shit, so that did help. And then shout out to Yugo's girlfriend India, because she literally was like giving me a fucking pep talk outside, like, girl, you got this, and like that energy that you're feeling, like just transfer it to being excited. And yeah, we was talking for a minute, but yeah, like I had a great time, and it actually came like it turned out amazing because the audience was loving it. Like they was loving the conversation. Loving it and hating it at the same time. Yeah, it was the most positive form of hate that we can find, right? A couple episodes ago we talked about polarity, being hated and being loved at the same time is the great equalizer and being a great entertainer, right? And we had with all due respect to
the other podcasts out there, we had the audience eating out the palm of our hands.
Yes. One guy got up, was sweaty.
I called him Sweaty Man.
In the middle of the damn aisle, like yelling at us, like yelling over our microphones. But we like that shit. Yeah. So I was like, oh, this is good conversation. So just to let you guys know what we talked about. So our concept was Netflix and spill or Netflix and chill. Because, you know, we were on a live show. But that was literally it. And we wanted to talk about dating shows. So the most popular ones is Love is Blind, Married at First Sight.
And The Ultimatum.
The Ultimatum. And then that show, The Longest Third Date. So that was the concept of, like, which one would you go on? We was asking the crowd who was single and who wasn't, and which one they would prefer and why. And then we got into a back and forth of, like, man versus women and, like, gender roles, and that's usually a trigger. A lot of minutia,
a lot of details, and you got people to really, like, express themselves. So the best part of it is Dana and I, obviously, we're always going to come in with the opinion, but we were able to maestro the situation also. Like, you know what? We don't have a problem shutting up. It's our show. You know, we'll jump in if we want to. We'll tell you shut up if we want to.
Yeah, but we're the captain of the ship, though. Like, we know how to steer it and where it's going because we do this conversation shit. Like, it's literally like a dance when you're talking and, like, conversing with people, and you feed off each other's energies.
You want to do it again?
Oh, a live show? I feel like we should have one with just us, but in the summertime. I'm down.
So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna ask the people. We're gonna poll them.
Okay.
So you want to come? Because, you know, y'all say y'all supportive, and we appreciate what y'all say, but we want to see some actions. You know,
the last one was very, like, exclusive too, right? Like, it wasn't for everybody. So this one, we want to definitely extend that.
Absolutely. For my check-in, I obviously a Cinco de Mayo. I got my little cup right here.
I got coffee.
It's okay because she was out all night. I wasn't.
No, not all night. Don't try to play me.
I didn't try to play you. I'm sorry. I thought you just turned it up.
No. I went to the city to see 19 Keys event. Okay. And are you going to do your check-in or you want me to?
I was interested in your conversation. I'm sorry. I was so attentive. But let me get my little check-in in real quick. It ain't too much to say. You know, I just had a run-of-the-mill day. Every day is a regular day for me. And I met this dude. He was a truck driver for my company. He came through. And me and him was just chopping it up. We talking about life. We talking about rent skyrocketing, all this kind of stuff. He's like, yo, you a good conversation. I was like, oh, I got a podcast. You know? So he was like, yo, for real? He's like, for real, what is it? Granted, I don't want the truck driver watching the pod on the road.
But we have audio.
But no, you can watch it. Just don't pay attention to the video. Just listen. You know, and
which is why we have audio.
He subscribed. I told him to give him a comment. So shout out to Tone. I don't know if I'll ever see this man ever again.
Drop a bomb for Tone.
But that's what we like. Okay, it's a bomb somewhere. There we go. He got 5 bombs. That's what's up, Tone.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's get back to you and
I wasn't out all night. Well, I did get home at 1 a.m. But nice. So I went to the city with Kayla. Shout out to my girl KK. She was on the episode where we did the recap of 2020. And the event was the Higher Level Conversation Tour by 19 Keys. So he is the global thought leader in trying to basically enlighten and educate the Black community. So it was him. He also had some special guests, which it was this guy named Yah'ki Awakening. And I actually
like the loved... sugar? Or is that a fruit?
I don't know.
You know ACAI, ain't that like a fruit or something?
It wasn't Yah'ki, it was Yah'ki.
Okay.
Yeah, my bad. Okay. I just mispronounced it. But this guy, he was given so many gems just about different things you can do to help heal your body. And he had like this whole presentational slide where he was breaking down the cells of people with melanin in their skin. And he was breaking down like the molecular level of what ours look like versus everybody else's. And then one thing that I took away from his performance is he mentioned how diseases are an illusion. And I was like, okay. So he ended up talking about most times diseases are because your body is literally trying to heal itself, but it can only do that based off what you give it. So if you're giving it things from the earth and like natural juices, fruits, not processed foods, then it will naturally heal and like go back into like its natural state of like being more strong. But if we're eating a whole bunch of like processed foods and shit, but then he mentioned how he's not from the East Coast, and most times we don't grow our own food in our backyard.
Do you mind me asking, where is he from? Is he from like the Midwest? Is he from South?
I was actually trying to look that up because he didn't say that, but he did say he flew in for the performance last night, and like he instantly couldn't breathe because of like the smog and shit that we have.
But just don't go to China, brother. Sorry.
Yeah, so he his Instagram is actually Yah'ki Awakened.
We're gonna link all of that to.
But it was just so dope. Okay, it says biochemist, dietitian, master herbalist, and it kind of felt like his performance. Like he was like the main headliner. Okay. So yeah, like hopefully shout out to him. Yah'ki. Yeah. I definitely want to I followed his page, and like I'm gonna definitely look into his teachings and stuff. But that was yesterday, and then we went out to this spot in Harlem to go eat and get drinks and catch up and talk.
And put toxins in your body right after y'all just talked to this man. That's crazy.
Whatever.
You didn't even listen to him. Nah, I'm messing with you.
Baby steps.
Baby steps.
I had brown rice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is fucking crazy.
So anyway, that was my step one. But that was yesterday. What about your check-in? What you been up to besides giving the truck driver our plug, which I appreciate that.
My biggest focus right now is the children. Lorrie is singing every single song that she could think of. Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star today. As she's twinkling in the potty, go Lorrie. Only a year and a half. I'm not supposed to say 18 months, 19 months.
I hate when people say that about their kids.
How old is she? Motherfucker, I don't
just
know.
Say
I
one.
stopped. No, she
so
is
why
737 days old.
Have to say 18 months?
Because that's what the clothes say.
Okay.
Right?
I didn't know.
Like, they should say 24 months and then it say 2T. I don't know when I'm supposed to stop.
Okay.
But my cousin, when Jaden was born, she first seen him, he was like, he just turned a year old, so he might have been like 14 months, right? I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to say, so I go, Jaden's 14 months. She's like, motherfucker, say a year. So I'm like, all right, I ain't never going to make that mistake ever again. But speaking of Jaden, he is doing big things. Has a basketball tournament this weekend. Signed him up for some All-American camps. Try to get him a little bit more exposure.
Yeah.
He's super duper passionate about sports, basketball in particular. So I'm just trying to do everything I can to be there.
Where do you think that passion comes from? Do you think it's you because you have that natural athletic ability?
I think it's all him. His mom is very big on putting him into sports and keeping him active and keeping him busy. But he didn't have this with soccer. He didn't have this with wrestling. He didn't have this with lacrosse. It's just something about a game that he loves and he can relate to. And he just wrote this thing because on this All-American thing, you have to express your passion. Like, why do you want to do this? And he was like, Michael Jordan inspired me. He must have watched Space Jam a bunch of times because he ain't never seen him play.
Yeah.
But he said, I'm not inspired by Michael Jordan, the actual basketball player. I'm gonna read the quote because I had to edit it because I'm smart. So Jaden, sorry, I'm about to put your shit out. It's okay, give me a second.
Yeah, okay. Take a second.
He said,
but while you found it?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I'm quick.
All right.
It says, talent wins games, but teamwork and intelligence wins championships. Drop a bomb for my straight A student.
Come on, Jaden. Yeah.
Like, we out here. It's okay, the bomb is here. We gonna get there
with the motivational, but the crazy thing is though, how old is he? You said 12. He's 12 years old talking like that. Like, to me, that just shows a different level of like leadership, you know what I mean? It kind of like foresees how he's gonna be like as he grows into being an adult.
Yeah, hopefully he's a global thought leader. We trying to get my boy up there, intellectually, intuitive. So,
but there's only one.
Oh, okay. You should have did that key 18 more times.
Chill out. Okay. Anyway, so May is also Mental Health Awareness Month. So we did just want to just touch on that topic and just talk about different things that we like to do for our mental health. I know we did talk about this when we but when we talked about our inner selves and when we played the Unpack That game. So today, I would say for me, when it comes to mental health and what that looks like, I think mental health, it's a daily job. Like, it's a daily thing you have to be aware of and you have to work on. I don't take a lot of stuff personally now when I'm interacting with with coworkers, like real life coworkers in particular, because these are people that I see on a day-to-day. Things that I like to do as well is the frequency music that I've mentioned, burn my candles, and go to the gym. Like, I've been working out like 3 to 4 days a week and just, keeping my body together.
Yeah, I think I'm about to get into the gym too. My facility is starting to bring one in.
No, you're not.
I'm not trying to pay.
You fucking lying.
I'm that serious.
You say you don't like the gym.
I don't, but I might have something to do this winter, so I got to get sexy real quick.
What you doing?
I might be on this reality show.
Okay, yeah. We'll tell you about that later,
when it
guys.
comes. We manifest things. But one thing that I try to do is I always try to keep myself grounded. I always try to. And I don't believe in humility. Excuse me. I'm struggling.
You okay?
I don't believe in humility to the perspective of, like, give your goodness to the world so they can feel better. But I'm naturally humble. Like, I naturally take a step back. I naturally give other people the grace, and I naturally give other people the floor. So sometimes it's just good to sit in that moment where it's just self-reflection. So that's where writing comes. That's where having intellectual conversations with people come. It helps me really calm down a little bit when I have somebody that matches my frequencies.
Yeah. I would say, go ahead. Still
like this podcast, this really helps me. This is therapy.
Same.
Like we talked about last week.
Yeah. One other thing is living in gratitude. For me, I feel like gratitude is a lifestyle. It's not something that you just do one day and the next day it's like you're complaining about all the shit that you don't have. To me, every day I wake up just with an attitude of like thanking God and Jesus and the universe for waking me up. Thank you for this Thursday or Friday, because today is Friday. Like, I'll say things like that out loud, and then I'll also be like, this is gonna be a great day. Like, I'll literally speak that out for my day and for like the different experiences I'm gonna have. So I try to go into every day with that mentality, even if like some shit pops up. I don't let that little thing ruin my entire day, because I have that mindset.
Yeah, and I have this weird mantra that I actually took from wrestling. It was this group called the New Day, and their thing was the power of positivity. So what I would do from that moment on is I would just live in that. So I would just stay positive every day, because positivity is contagious.
Yeah, you attract that.
So the more I give positivity, the harder it is for you to dislike me or dislike the moment, right? It's like when they say kill them with kindness, that's the exact way to do it, is just have that positive state of mind that you can't break me. And don't get me wrong, I have my days where I just want to be in a funk, but I tell people it's not a bad mood, it's no mood.
I think it's natural though, as humans. Like, we just go through different emotional periods.
You gotta go through things to grow through things. Okay,
look at you quoting me. But I was gonna say, being a woman, because we do deal with hormonal emotions every month, like having a menstrual cycle and having a period, we really can't control that for the most part. So I wouldn't say, if you're having a day where you just aren't at your best, don't let that basically define like who you are as a person and like the rest of your days that you're gonna have, because it is just that one moment. And then if you have that positive mindset, like you said, like it will get better. And speaking of, like, when it comes to work, right, and how different companies are trying to, I feel like they're trying to have that in the workplace, where some companies are now seeing how it is with a 4-day work week. And I don't know how I feel about that, because it's like, yes, you're working 4 days, but you're going to have to make up that extra day for the other days and like work a longer day. Well,
see, that's where shifting responsibilities need to tie in. So I use my experience as a retail manager. So if I'm there 5 days a week, still gonna be those 2 days where shit don't get done, right? So instead of focusing on me doing it for 5 days, reallocate the resources. So me and this person is off a different day, so that way this person is picking up my slack for those 3 days, and vice versa.
Okay.
But for whatever reason, it's just like, nope, we're just gonna pirate and we're gonna take over your time. And I don't think our time is that is that like, I don't know the word to use, but it's like it's just stealing my time.
Exactly. I do not like working 5 days a week because for the most part, thank God I do have a hybrid schedule, and I am able to adjust my work schedule around like my personal life. Like this week I had to get an oil change. I had to do different things, run errands and like go to the doctor for checkups and stuff like that. And I was able to adjust my meeting schedules around that, where I didn't feel confined to like my job and like being in that box of an office. And because I do work an hour away from where I live, I can't necessarily be like, all right, I'm gonna take lunch and go do what I need to do, then come back to work. Like, no, I have to be here because I don't live close. So I think having the 4-day work week is helpful, especially for the mental health and people not feeling like, all right, I literally have like no time for like myself. Because when it comes to what we was talking about before with going to the doctor, a lot of people don't go because they feel like they don't have time to go. And
it's also adding different things: children, a home, a pet, extracurricular activities, lifestyle. It's but so much that you can do in 48 hours. And I know people are like, oh, well, if you work from 9 to 5, you still got from 5 o'clock to 10 o'clock to do more. It's like, no, I don't. Yeah, most of my energy is allocated to my day job. Like, the times where I feel most productive, I'm in an office. Which is why that's the hours that they optimally want people to come in. Yeah, that was done on purpose. It's all Henry Ford's fault, because he began the assembly line and he started this entire concept. Which is fine, but that was cool for that point in time, right? Like, we're in 2023. We know after COVID that certain jobs that are not manual labor jobs are able to be done at home. So why isn't that shifting as well? Because it's not beneficial to the companies. I don't know if you recognize, but as more people started working from home, now these companies, they're like, okay, well, we're going to try to adjust your salaries. You don't need this office space. You don't need the computer system. I haven't experienced that. A lot of people was trying to say, you know, I'm going to minimize your salary, and people aren't going for it. So my experience was that companies were wanting to pay for the office space just because they knew that you were going to be working from home. But one thing that I do want to mention is the whole like AI thing happening now, like the AI boom, like especially with technology companies like a Google, Amazon. They're literally laying off like thousands of people because AI is literally changing so fast that you don't need 20 to 30 workers to do one job, because this one person who knows how to they call it like prompt manager, prompt something, where like you're literally inputting the information to the like a chat GPT or whatever kind of AI system, and it's giving you the answers and giving you the technology and the applications to run the fucking company. And that's just it. There's no different than a damn self-checkout register or anything like that. Like, automation is the key to the future. It's the future. And if you've been in any business classes or anything in college like that, they will teach you that. They will teach you that the best way to create a profitable business is to maximize your automation and limit your labor. But you have to keep up with that. I think there's some people, exactly. I was just having this conversation as I was driving here, where some business owners, they tend to get left behind, and then their business fails because they don't keep up with the latest technology. And it's not like, just the small ones. No, it's not. It's literally like multi-million-dollar companies, because even in my field, what I've noticed when like I was helping different family members look for jobs, one of the main job that these companies were looking for, and I'm talking about like companies with like thousands of employees, like they were looking for someone to literally teach the IT team cloud hosting and cloud computing and how to migrate their information from the on-prem servers to the cloud, because no one knew how to do that. I'm shaking my head, like, but I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, but like these IT departments consisted of like probably like 20 to 50 employees, and no one knew the process to do that, and they were trying to hire one particular person, and they was going to pay the bag, like they was going to pay at least like $200K salary. But it's like, if you actually
hone into that skill set and like actually get certified for that, then you'll be able to get these jobs that are like futuristic and, you know, like actually telling you that, yo, you gotta up your skill set.
But I actually think we don't have to. We can have a limited pool of talent, because if we do the right things from an automation perspective, this is the perfect groundswell for a socialist society. Now, I know we're not a government podcast and we don't talk about stuff like that on a regular basis, but this is where the government can really step in and say, okay, we have automation that's going to really make the American way of life ideal. Now, this is a way where we can supplement our talent. And we can supplement our...
That's not going to happen.
It can easily happen.
It can, but like not in our society, because it is capitalist based. And when it comes to technology in the world, like the U.S. is behind. Like China and Taiwan, I believe, they're like the leading countries when it comes to technology, because at a young age they tell their like students and children that it's important to know technology and to be like engineers. Like they literally give them that and instill that in them and teach them so young. Like here, like our school systems are trash.
Well, this is the benefit of being a bully, right? It's like iPhone versus Android. Android is going to have all the latest technology. Android is going to get you all the new AI. But when iPhone wants it, it's going to have it, and the people are going to go for it. America is the same way. China is going to do all that shit that they want to do. Japan is probably one of the leaders when it comes to technology in the world. But that's our ally. So all we got to do is say, I want that, and we'll have it. And that's what America has proven to do over the course of time.
Yeah, but times always change, and I feel like some countries, like they have their eras to where they are leading the world, but just the different ways that different countries like China, not Asia, but Russia and all of them, how they're trying to come together now to make the US dollar. Yeah, so I don't know. Like, I don't know what it'll look like in 5 to 10 years.
Look at the We Outside at the Work podcast talking geopolitics.
I know. Look at us. Get serious.
Yeah. But to get unserious.
To bring it back.
Yeah, we gonna have to talk about my boy Brian Mcknight.
Oh, God. You go ahead.
Okay, so to give y'all a little bit of backstory, Brian Mcknight has a bunch of kids. He has kids. 6? I didn't count, but I know it's a lot of them.
Because he has 3 himself, and then his wife has 2.
Yes. Now,
so that's 5.
To preface this, because 3 weeks ago, we talked about if I was to date my stepsister, that would be gross because we're actual sisters. So we gotta consider these his actual family, right? We can't dance around. Because you said you have to give the background of what we're talking about. So Brian Mcknight has 3 biological children, and I believe 3. No, he has the 4th biological children with the white woman, right?
I have no idea.
Okay, and he has 2, if I'm not mistaken,
so
adopted
2 with
children.
his current wife is through marriage.
Yes.
Okay.
So, according to the news,
internets,
Brian Mcknight posted a picture of his his stepdaughter, and said that she is the best daughter he's ever had, and he thanks God for a daughter like her. Daughter of Ben's. The internet didn't like that because allegedly Brian Mcknight disowned his biological kids. He also has a son named Brian Mcknight Jr., which he disowned, and now he has another son named Brian Mcknight Jr. I think it's the 3rd. I don't even know how that shit works.
I thought it was just Junior.
Yeah, I don't know how that shit works. Which is
still crazy. But my issue with this is, so I don't know. Have you looked at his Instagram? Okay.
I've seen the pictures.
I actually went to his Instagram just to see if like any of this information has been changed or whatever.
Deleted.
Right. But his Instagram is actually like this, where he's literally like praising his wife and his step kids, which is great and cool, and you know, like I'm all for that. Like it shows like a family man, how in love he is. But there's no pictures of his biological kids anywhere. And then his biological daughter is in college, who apparently, allegedly, he doesn't do anything for. Like he's not paying tuition or anything like that. So to have a post where you bought your stepdaughter a Benz and saying she's the best daughter ever, that's weird as fuck. And then there was another interview from 2020 that resurfaced, and he was saying how, was he married prior to his current wife?
I'm not familiar.
Okay. But in this interview, he was saying that all of his love songs that he made prior to being married to his current wife didn't really mean anything. Like, they didn't have any type of, like, loving influence. So the songs like Back at One, which is one of my favorites by him, and I'm kind of like, so where did this come from?
It came from talent, first and foremost. He has just an ability, a knack to really discuss love in a way that he
doesn't have to experience it. Right.
And okay. As a writer, I myself, I do believe it's things that I can conjure up that I haven't necessarily experienced because it's my imagination, right?
Right.
But I do want to give him grace because I don't think people are being fair. Imagine being in a situation, young, having kids, being fast, being out there, with no love. I'm serious, with no love. And being in situations where you think you're doing the right thing and you're just like going through the motions, and now you got kids out of it. The thing that y'all tell us to do is we're supposed to love everyone through our mistakes. But is that the reality for him? Like, we can't force that reality on him. Again,
yes, with celebrities, we never really know.
I don't want to make it a celebrity, though. I want to make him a human.
Right. But I'm saying either way, with celebrities, because we're talking about his situation, is because he is a celebrity, not because he's like a random ass guy. But I was going to say, we never know the bigger picture. Like, we never know the kid's side or the full story with his ex-wife. So we don't know what kind of trauma happened. It just looks crazy that you do have children who are the same age as you have biological children that are the same age as your stepchildren, and your biological kids are just nowhere to be found on your social media. And from what the internet was saying, you don't have any type of relationship with them. So even if you had these kids at a young age, do they not deserve your love just as much as your stepkids because you love their mom and you're married to her now?
According to him, no. I can't get mad at him for how he feels and what he believes. What I will say is it's different strokes for different folks, right? And it's completely reasonable for him to be in a situation built on just disdain. Like, if I don't like this woman because all she did was pried money out of me, this is assumption, this is just me making a clear assumption, and then these kids are doing the same thing, they're siphoning money out of me, they don't really love me, they love what I provide for them.
It kind of reminds me of 50 Cent.
I was going to say the same thing.
Oh, okay, look at us synced up.
Yeah.
But with 50 Cent's son, who, how old is his son, like 30, 25?
About, yeah.
Okay, yeah. He was constantly in the news because he kept saying that 50 Cent was a deadbeat dad. He never gave her money. But then we found out from 50 Cent that his first baby mother of his child, like, she didn't want to work. She automatically just assumed that he was supposed to take care of her forever just because she had a child by him. And his son, like, picked up that behavior as well, where he just expected money without having to work for anything. And I can agree, where it's like, no, if things didn't work out with your mother and, you know, like, I'm trying to be there for you behind the scenes and not putting shit all on the internet for everyone to see. Because, like, putting your family shit on the internet, to me, is like number one of where things always go left. Because you are going to get different people, like, saying their opinions, and that is gonna skew the whole situation, because if you're not actually talking to, like, your family member about these issues and you're just running to the internet, that shit is just not gonna get resolved.
But I don't think everybody wants to resolve things. I think sometimes I want to vent. This frustrates me, this annoys me, right? And I'm gonna give the flip side of this equation, right? Because we're talking about parents disowning the children, but no one seems to have a problem when children disown their parents, right?
What does that look like?
I'll give you an example. God rest his soul, Kobe Bryant did the same thing to his parents, right? Allegedly they were selling his memorabilia because Kobe kind of cut him off. Now I don't know if all of that is factual. This is just what I've heard, right?
Allegedly.
So it's okay. Is that okay for Kobe to deny the people who provided him every opportunity up until his come up?
I don't think it's okay. Like, I wouldn't say it's okay or not okay, because again, we don't know the full story. But like I know people personally to where if your parent has done some shit to you to a level where it's unforgivable, and you feeling like, oh well, I want to forgive them because they're my parent, like I don't think that's enough. Like I don't think like, oh, because you gave birth to me. Yeah,
that's all I'm saying. Because we don't know Brian Mcknight's situation. We don't know what the actual story is. It's his side, it's their side, and it's God's side, right? All I'm saying is no parent is obligated to 100% be there for their children, especially if their children is not being there for them.
And I think too, in these situations when the guy says that, hey, listen, like, yes, you got pregnant, but like I truly don't plan on being in this baby's life, and then you proceed to still have this child, then it's like, well, can you blame the guy for, you know, not being in the child's life when he did say, I don't plan on it, but if you have this kid, it's all on you.
You can still blame him, because we've all understood what the ramifications of sex is by this point in time. All right, so assume your responsibility, right? I'm not going to tell someone not to, but at the same time, I think accountability goes both ways.
It does go both ways. I'm glad you brought that up.
The women involved in a lot of these situations, I do think y'all need to make better pussy decisions.
Don't say y'all.
I'm just talking about women in general.
No.
I'm just saying.
Because I'm not in that circle.
All I'm saying is,
because you know why I'm saying that? Because I understand the accountability piece from both sides. Like, I'm not one of those females that like can't take accountability for my own actions, and I do feel like that is a common thing within like being a woman. It's usually like the guy did this, he did that, he didn't do this, he didn't do that, but you still have choices as well. So if you made that choice knowing that this person said they're not going to be in the child's life, you still proceeded to have that child, there's going to be ramifications. Like, there's going to be struggle, there's going to be like lonely nights, and you happen to have conversations with your child eventually as like why the father doesn't want to be in your life. So this does build some sense of trauma, and to me it's like, well, it kind of is coming from a selfish place sometimes, because it's like, well, you know, you didn't have that love and affection, or you're trying to fill a void, or you're trying to like have that man in a certain way, and the only way is the child. But you have to take accountability for that.
And I do think a lot of men are unfortunately guilt tripped into being better parents, right? Because especially as a black man, first thing you're taught is black men are deadbeat dads. I don't know too many deadbeat dads personally. I have nothing but black friends. Some Spanish friends. Shout out to y'all.
Cinco de Mayo.
But the common misconception is like, they're not in the homes, they're not this, they're not that, and it's like, no.
I heard that was like a program.
Yeah. But it's like, now you have so many
supremacy.
You have so many broken relationships trying to force love onto children, and we're not stupid. Like, I knew my mother and father wasn't together. Like, it's nothing they could have done. I'm just saying, it's nothing they could have done that's gonna make me look and see like, oh, my parents love each other. Right. But now we got kids in these situations, especially with, I don't want to like make this about mothers being like just angry at their fathers, but if all she tells me is negative things, I'm gonna expect and experience negative things. It's like we talked about the positivity being contagious, so is negativity.
It is.
So
yeah, you're like programming that into your child, because I did kind of mention on the last episode like my parents' toxic dynamic. Like I always knew they had love for each other. Like, I want to put that out there. They're still together. Me and my brother, we've moved out, so it's not like, oh, we're staying together for the kids. It's like there's some type of love there to where you feel, it may be comfortability, it may be because, you know, like they just don't communicate that like verbally to each other, but they do love each other to an extent to still be together. But when I was younger, there were times where like things were toxic, and my dad would say stuff about my mom to me and my brother, and then like my mom would say shit about my dad to us, And we knew how our parent was
Mm-hmm.
because they're taking care of us, and they're like making sure we're okay. So we don't necessarily know the dynamic between y'all two because we're so young.
Mm-hmm.
But to just like put that in your child's ear, to me, I feel like is detrimental. You know, like I don't think you should do that as a parent. Like, even though you have so much animosity towards the other parent, like to throw that shit at a young child, to me, is selfish.
Yeah, and I actually got to give Jaden's mom, Essence, a lot of credit on that.
Shout out to Essence,
because it was moments where we piss each other off, like just natural things of not getting along and finding ways to be upset. But I can't recall a time where she said negative things about me, especially to him. The same way I would never say negative things about her to him. I tell him, like, your mother is the greatest person in this world to you, and I will do everything for you to know that. I'm never going to make her feel like she's the worst person in the world, even if I believe that.
I was going to say, is it because you know the impact that it'll have on
that
Jaden?
Impact that it'll have on him and our relationship? I think I tell people all the time, like, at the end of the day, her and I, we operate because we're cordial. I don't need to be your best friend. I don't need to hate you. I don't need to be all up your ass. I just need us to get along. And there was a moment in time where I had to reflect, because Jaden's 12 years old. We constantly see each other, you know, doing things as parents. And I was like, you know, I haven't hugged this woman in front of my son, like, for 10 years. Like, granted, I wasn't like angry at her or anything, but it's like, show some love. Like, show her that.
What sparked the reflect? Was it the podcast? Because I feel like that's something that I've been talking about.
No, because this was 2 years ago. You know, okay. I just did the math, 10 to 12. But it was just, I just was thinking about it one day. I'm like, you know, it wouldn't hurt. Like, I don't hate this woman. If anything, we actually get along really well. She's one of the people that deep down, I know for a fact she knows me. Which is why sometimes when I have my moments, she understands me, and sometimes when she has her moments, I understand her.
But you guys have that dynamic to where you are cordial, and you know the most important thing is Jaden.
Yeah, but it gets to the points.
I'm sure it does, but it goes back to being a human, like being like a everyday person and going through the motions. And some days are not going to be great days, but you also have to realize, like, all right, this is just the day. This isn't like fucking forever, you know.
Well, shout out to Nashima. Shout out to all the wonderful mothers and fathers out there.
Shout out to my parents. I know I talk about y'all a lot on here, but I love y'all. And sometimes people gotta know some shit and can relate to it.
Yeah.
Yes. So, guys, this is a Dolo episode. The next one is also going to be Dolo as well. But if you are interested in being a guest on our podcast, because we have had a lot of people reach out to us, and I say email us, don't DM us, because we don't always see the DMs.
And you got to email Dana, because Gmail is very secure. They won't even let me get into it. So
you don't access the
I can't.
WOAW pod?
I can't.
Shit. Okay.
Like, they gotta send you like 4-factor emails and all that shit.
To authenticate. Okay. Yeah, but still, send us an email at WOAWpod@gmail.com. Let us know why you feel like you want to join the conversation, what you got going on, and you'll possibly be able to come on. Right
in this seat right here in the middle. So I can look at you and be like, you sound crazy.
Yeah.
But with that being said,
we outside and we out.